Hey everyone, welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Chris.
I'm Barbara.
And I'm Pickle Gus. Got pickles.
Gavin looks like
Gus.
an adorable troll doll.
I think, well, I'm on a quest to look more and more of a prick each week that goes by. And I think all-time high today.
I like it, though.
Where are you
You may have
supposed
peaked
to
too
put-
early with a man bun.
Maybe. Well, I mean, it doesn't. It's hard to see with the headphones, but the sides aren't long enough to go in, so they just wisp out at the sides.
It's
I
a
also
look,
don't know
though.
which edge of the headphones are they supposed? Is the top bun supposed to poke out?
Like
Is
the
it
front or the back?
the front, or am I going to get it out the back? Because at the moment, my
Can you
headphones
split it down
are-
the middle?
Well, like cut a hole in the
Make
headphones.
a bun, like if you put the headphones on and then make a bun over the headphone
Oh.
thing, so it just has like a headband in between it.
Dude,
That's definitely the correct way to do it.
that's next week. That's what we do.
So then you go to take off your headphones, but they're stuck in your hair. Guarantee you'll forget.
You just sleep with them. You just keep them. They're just part of your life. You just always have headphones on. Always be headphoning, ABH.
And I'll make sure they're on backwards.
Yeah, make sure they're not on backwards. I guess a little bit of housekeeping before we get too deep into the podcast. We have, someone's cracking open a cold one. We have a special segment at the end of the podcast this week. Gavin and I were lucky to do an interview with Steve-O. We got a chance to talk with him. So stay tuned at the end of the podcast. We'll have that here. So just letting you all know right now, so you don't like leave us.
Do you think there's people here who don't know who Steve-O is?
There's no way.
That seems impossible.
It's an
I
icon.
don't know. I feel like we have a wide range of people in our audience, especially in ages. So I wonder if like people maybe a little younger don't know Jackass or Steve-O or that whole group.
Well, they will soon enough.
But he's like one of those people who has just one name.
Yeah, we
Right.
talked about that in the discussion,
Yeah.
didn't we?
It's
Like Beyonce.
That's icon. I think I said Madonna because I'm an old, crusty old man, and that was my frame of reference. But yeah, like Beyonce, as the kids would say.
I said this in the thing, but I grew up watching him, and I remember specifically when he went off the high dive wearing stilts. I remember just thinking to myself, that is the most dangerous thing I've ever seen in my life, and it was at the time. I mean, obviously people have done crazier shit on the internet because it's easy to get access to that stuff now, but that was a nut stunt.
The chat is just catching up with us talking about Steve-O, and literally it's half and half of, yo, that's so cool, and who?
He was one of the people on Jackass, which was an old show on MTV. Well, he's done way more since then. He did a bunch of other TV shows, and we talk about some of his past projects in the interview. You should check it out. Maybe Google him, and you'll learn what a Steve-O is. Ask your parents.
What a Steve-O is.
Yeah. But yeah, it was super cool to get to talk to him, and really, I think it turned out really interesting. So stay tuned. That is coming later. Don't want to spoil too much about that. So podcast this week. So we had a game that we had queued up last week that we wanted to play, but we didn't get to it. I'm hoping that we have time to get to it this week. Should we just do it right now? Let's just do it right now, right? Well, I was going to eat the pickles, but I guess why? Let's.
All right.
Ooh,
All right, Bernie.
I don't know. Pickles game. Hearing about Chris's holiday vacation, which I'm sure some stuff happened. There's 3 different options we have here.
I'm going to eat your pickle while we
poison.
do this.
No, you'll get botulism.
So have you had any yet, Gus?
No, it smells good. It smells like pickles.
So this
He's
is the
going in with a
first
fork.
Yeah,
reaction, huh?
I don't want to get my hands all like pickle juicy.
What is
What's
that in the middle?
top?
Looks like a pickle.
Did you make these, Gus?
I made these pickles.
Is that thing to keep the pickles submerged? What is that?
Yeah, it's like, I'll show you. It's so that they didn't float up to the top. I put the top of a G Fuel canister in there
I thought it looked familiar.
to keep it all the way down. There was a stone on top of it too, but I think the stone fell off, so it must be at the bottom of the jar
Did
somewhere.
it also dye that thing yellowish green, or was it that color before?
It was that color already.
Oh, okay, never mind.
You're gonna
So-
start the newest G Fuel flavor.
Pickle juice.
How's the
Taking a
texture?
bite.
It's a little soggy. It's not as crisp as I would have hoped. It doesn't have the same flavor. I guess because it's not vinegar. It's a salt water. I did a like a saltwater brine, which is the old way of making pickles. It doesn't taste like a pickle I've ever had before. It definitely has like a dill flavor, but it's missing the vinegar aspect.
Isn't that what you didn't include vinegar, right? And there was the ability to include it, and you just chose not to.
That's what you're taking from this, is that the ingredient you didn't put in isn't there.
But I'm just pointing out how it's different. It doesn't, like, even though it's a saltwater or like a brine pickling, it doesn't taste like super salty. It doesn't taste that different than a normal pickle, just no vinegar aspect. I mean, I put dill and garlic in there, so I mean, it tastes like a pickle I would normally eat. It's just
So is it
soggier.
closer to a pickle or a cucumber in taste?
It's definitely a pickle. If it tasted like a cucumber, I would spit it out immediately.
He wouldn't have finished that whole
Yeah.
thing if it tasted anything like a cucumber.
I hate cucumbers. It's actually really good. I'm not gonna lie. That's a tasty pickle.
I feel like, let
the
me
danger-
make this statement though. If you hate cucumbers, if you like pickles, you don't hate cucumbers. I think that's a rule.
They taste totally different. You can't argue with me. You cannot tell me that a pickle tastes like a cucumber. You're a fool if you think pickles taste like cucumbers.
It's the
I
same
think
thing.
Trevor likes cucumber but doesn't like pickle. Is that
Yeah, I mean, I'm not big on a pickled cucumber. I like a cucumber, but still, it's
You
the
can
same
pickle.
thing.
You can pickle everything, right?
You can pickle lots of things. Barbara asked me to pickle a banana for her.
How did
I
that turn out?
did.
I haven't done it yet, so I was waiting to eat these pickles first to see how it turned out. So, Chris, you weren't here when I first talked about the pickles, but the people in the community kept telling me that the big danger is that if you didn't sanitize everything properly, that you can give yourself botulism. So that's why I'm eating the pickle now, to make sure that it's safe and I know how to do this before I start pickling and making things for other people.
Okay.
And you were
So
saying
if
that
you die,
botulism makes you shit yourself to death? Like,
Pretty much, yeah. And like it's a shitty death, literally.
I was told it was not always fatal.
Yeah, I think you can, if you have you can overcome it, but I don't want to go to the hospital.
how's it different to dysentery?
I think
dysentery's from not getting enough fruit. Right?
I thought that was also shitting yourself to death.
I don't.
let's see.
know.
Sailors get dysentery.
Botulism is a rare but serious illness caused by a toxin that attacks the body's nerves. Symptoms of botulism usually start with weakness of the muscles that control the eyes, face, mouth, and throat.
Oh my, that's so different to shitting yourself.
This
It's
weakness
a
may
nerve disease?
Yeah, this weakness may spread to the neck, arms, torso, and legs. Botulism can also weaken the muscles involved in breathing, which can lead to difficulty breathing and even death. If I had read that before I ate the pickle, I wouldn't have eaten the pickle. I'm going to be honest with you.
You thought you were just going to get the shits.
I thought
but
I
now
was
you
going
have-
to. I
you
thought
have,
at
like,
worst I would
muscle
just start
collapse.
shitting myself.
You followed instructions though. Like I feel like you'll be okay,
Yeah, I
right? Like
followed
you'd have to probably mess it up pretty bad in order to get botulism.
Yeah, we'll see.
I would think.
I appreciate the vote of confidence, though, Barbara.
I think you did it right. I think Gus, you're very, meticulous in terms of things that you try and little experiments that you take on. So I don't think that you're gonna do anything wrong in the process, unless the instructions you were following were faulted.
Yeah, no,
the
no.
chat
I
said
I-
Chris is thinking of scurvy.
Well,
Scurvy.
isn't that the same thing as dysentery?
No,
Nope.
scurvy is a vitamin C deficiency.
But
I can never
well,
remember
then
the
what
difference
is
between scurvy and rickets.
Is it the same thing?
It's all like
Dysentery-
old ship illnesses, isn't it? Like
think
people at
dysen-
sea would just.
They would get it, yeah. Sorry,
Rickets
I
is
have
vitamin
no
D
citrus.
deficiency.
I thought dysentery is kind of like food poisoning, but to the extreme.
I think you're right. That's what I was
What?
thinking of.
Yeah, it's caused
Four
by
non-doctors guess about illnesses.
Shigella bacteria or an amoeba. Dysentery is often spread through contaminated food or water. A key symptom is bloody diarrhea. There may also be abdominal pain, cramps, fever, and malaise.
Malaise.
Prompt medical care is needed for bloody diarrhea. Just as a heads up to anybody listening who might have bloody diarrhea. Now you know.
Don't
Yeah.
sit on your bloody diarrhea. Get it checked out.
Please don't.
well,
Yeah, so Chris, I'm curious. You asked if I made those pickles. Have you not noticed for the last 2 weeks I keep pointing out that I was making pickles on the shelf behind me over here?
no. This is the first I've heard about any pickles.
Like, every bit
I was
of
out
content.
last week.
Oh, you were out last, but the week before, every bit of content I was in, I had pickles right here on the shelf.
Oh, I must have missed it.
You're
Everyone,
also
glad-
asking for us to be
Watch all the videos.
observant, which is a lot to ask these days.
that's true.
Although I guess we are used to looking at each other at on the same backgrounds in everything we do. So if you did have something new, we should notice it. So I'm counteracting my own point.
Yeah, but how often do you even bother looking at everyone else? I don't look at you guys. I know what they look like.
Do you just make your confidence screen the entire thing on vMix?
That would be really funny. I should.
I do put it over myself, but I also just realized I had the chat completely covering just Barbara's side of the
Oh,
screen.
cool.
Hey, there you are. When you're full screen, hey.
Yeah, it's
No,
we're
I've-
doing the
I've
long
moved it
skinny
now.
things.
Now it's
Man.
just covering some of Gus.
I've been missing traveling so much, and my eye's real twitchy. I don't know why.
Botulism.
The other day I was so bored that I started browsing through YouTube videos on my TV, and I found a 90-minute YouTube video where it's someone that just walks around the streets of Seoul in the rain, and he doesn't talk or say anything. He just walks around with like a camera on, so it's like a walking simulator, like you're in Seoul.
Whoa.
Walking around in the rain for 90 minutes. And for like, I was flipping through stuff. I was like, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. And I put that on and I sat there for 90 minutes watching someone walk around. And I was like, that was really enthralling. That was really entertaining. I'm happy I watched that.
That happens to
Is
me.
it like a 360 one?
No, it's
Aw.
it's just like in the direction he's going. You have no control over it.
Still must be pretty relaxing though.
Yeah.
I traveled. I went to Dallas.
When?
Oh,
Last week?
Dallas. Huh? Last week, yeah, to visit my brother. And this is like the first time I haven't really traveled, but my brother has a bunch of dogs, and so I decided to take Booger. 'Cause, Booger gets play friends.
How do you do that?
What do you mean?
How do you do? I mean, how do you do with the other dogs?
Oh, good with the other dogs. I left Friday night, like right after we finished that meeting that we had on Friday, and I packed up and left, and then I'm like about maybe 45 minutes to Dallas, maybe an hour, and Booger's whining in the back seat, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll pull over, maybe he has to go to the bathroom, and then as I'm driving, looking for an exit with a gas station, and all of a sudden I just hear like liquid spewing,
Oh,
and I'm
no.
oh no, he's peeing. It wasn't pee.
I was gonna say it probably wasn't pee.
It was
was it?
diarrhea.
Oh,
He just-
no.
He diarrheaed all over the back seat. Like
To the point where you could hear it flowing and like slapping down.
Do you have cloth seats in your car?
yes. I
Remind
do.
me to never get in the backseat of your car, Chris.
but so then I'm like, I'm trying to, because he's like dancing in it. Because he's like, what do I do? What do I do? Because he's also like got a leash thing, so he can't move. He doesn't have a lot of maneuverability, but he's enough to where he's like freaking out. And he's jumping in. He's moving around as much as he can.
He's splashing around in it.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to like hold him away from it, and then I'm also like trying to get to an exit. So I pull in and I jump out of the car and I get him out of the car and I tie him to a post, and then I just like the gas station I go to is closed, and I'm just running around in circles. Like, what do I do? There's so much shit. There's shit everywhere. It's I don't have anything. The store's closed. Where do I get paper towels? And I'm just like I just like circled my car for a while. I did have like a seat cover for dogs, so like I was able to like wrap some of it up and shove it into a bag.
Did you
So it
throw
wasn't
that out
like-
immediately, or did
No, I needed it.
Whoa. What?
So, well, and so I'm like trying to clean up the poop, and Booger's like whining, and then all of a sudden he like trots over to me and is like staring at me all proud, and like look over, and he chewed through his leash because he was so like freaking out about all the shit, and me freaking out about he was covered in shit. There was just shit everywhere, but he was really proud of himself too because he was like, "Oh, don't worry about it, boss. I chewed through that thing that was keeping me away from you." And he's like just like proud as can be. Like he's totally fine now. I mean, he's covered in poop, and so am I.
And so is your car.
Yeah, but
Well,
yeah,
I would have been freaking out. I would have just been flustered beyond belief.
well,
Were you
that's why I
mad?
ran around the car a bunch.
Hmm.
Like,
Was he just like stressed out from being tied up in the car?
I think so. I think he just doesn't like. I mean, I know he doesn't like car rides, and that was
It's also the longest
yeah.
drive he's probably been on, right?
Probably. I mean, as far as I know, because I'd never gone anywhere. I mean, this is like furthest I'd gone, you know, and it was just straight to Dallas to my brother's house, who's also like in quarantine. But yeah, so I ended up cleaning him up as best I could, and then putting a blanket down, and then going back to my house, and then like I couldn't throw away the seat cover because I had to go the next day.
Your house in Dallas, right?
No, I went to Austin.
You
came
drove
back to Austin.
I drove back. I could
You
not
were
drive in
45
that.
minutes away from Dallas.
No. I was 45 minutes out of Austin.
Oh, I thought you said
Yeah, yeah.
45
So you
minutes
just-
away.
You just turned around and didn't go?
Well, not that night, dude. There was so much shit. Like I wasn't gonna drive for like 3 hours like that.
Window
And then
birds
I
in
would've-
chat said Booger is absolutely Chris's dog, and I could not agree with you more.
In chat, the white yak said, "Do not make this into an RTAA."
Well,
Agreed.
I mean, there's a lot of poop. I mean, and he. So I had to just go clean it up, and he was fine the next time when I drove to Dallas. On the way, I do think he gets car sick because he did vomit a lot on the way back. Like he vomited
car?
twice. Yeah. So I think he just doesn't like cars.
Yeah,
It wasn't bad. He didn't seem that upset about the vomit.
Might be a no car sort of dog that you've got.
Yeah. I mean, he's
Did
okay
you-
on short distances.
Did you gag? Did you worry about throwing up yourself?
Not when he threw up because that wasn't that bad.
But the poo, probably.
The poo was pretty bad because it was just like overpowering. Yeah.
Oh, God. Man, every time I think, maybe now's the time to get a dog, I hear a story like this, and I just go, maybe not.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's better than a baby. They are like designed to shit, you know?
I will say I would get a dog before I got a baby.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it's still better than not having. Like, even if you have to deal with a mountain of shit, you still get all the positive points of a pet.
Yeah.
Barbara.
Sure.
Yeah, like the dog's not always shitting in your car.
I know.
Yeah,
but
only the ones. Only
It's
the ones.
extra work and things to worry about that I don't necessarily have the bandwidth for right now.
I have a picture of him from when, like, at the gas station where he chewed through his leash, and he looks so happy.
He looks so embarrassed. Like he can't believe you're telling this story about him right now.
He does.
Are you mocking him by making him wear a seatbelt collar?
A seat? Oh no, he already had that. I'm gonna can I I want to show you this picture.
Oh man.
How do I share it? It's oh, I don't know. I'll send it.
You can send it to Eric.
Chris is falling apart. I have to step in. You can send it to me.
Put it in Discord.
You can do that. That is just.
He looks so that's just you can't tell how much shit you can't. I've already wiped some of the shit off of him at that point in that picture.
Oh, do I wait? Don't put.
Oh,
don't.
this is a
Maybe I
shit
don't
pic?
want to see.
No.
it.
You don't
No,
see
you
any
don't
poop.
see-
You don't
you don't
see
see
any
poop.
You just see a happy dog.
Oh,
who's
I wanted
chewed
to
through
see
his leash.
the carnage.
Oh
No,
no.
out of all people who want to see the carnage, you, Gavin? Really?
He does look really happy.
Interesting. Where did
He's
this
a
get
good
sent?
boy.
What?
He put it in the general channel on.
God.
Discord.
Oh, instead
On-
of RT podcast.
Oh yeah.
Is it lame? I made an Instagram for Booger.
No.
Not at all.
No, lots of people are still living in 2009.
Okay.
What
thanks.
is lame is that you have your streamy behind you, you loser.
My what behind me?
Your streamy award.
I gotta have something.
Like who? Look at the doggy. Who just keeps a streamy on hand? I don't know.
Are we now going to cut to Gavin's camera and he's going to have multiple awards behind it? Is it sad that I know you that well that I could predict your jokes?
Yeah. I don't have any jokes left because I haven't done anything in a while.
The lack of life experience is leaving us jokeless as time goes on.
You know what I did today to try to get some life experience?
What'd you do?
I was playing Microsoft Flight Simulator, and there's that hurricane that's hitting out in Louisiana, and I thought, I wonder if I can fly through the hurricane. So I took off from the New Orleans airport, and I flew through the hurricane.
Look at you.
So it's there in the game?
The hurricane is there in the game. I was in
That's
that small
cool.
that small Cessna that you do the training in, and it was getting beat to shit by the winds.
Aren't there
was,
potentially now 2 hurricanes coming in to like almost the same location?
Yes.
Can they cancel each other out?
If one spins clockwise and the other counterclockwise, yeah.
But I
Wait,
don't
really?
think that's the case, right?
No, I'm.
Oh, you're joking. I don't know
they
fucking shit about
always spin the
hurricanes.
same direction.
I just
They
fell
don't
for
ever-
it. I fell for it so quickly, Gus. I just trust you too much.
I think I
that's the
read.
thing.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, that's the thing. If you're bullshitting, you just got to say it quickly and confidently, and everyone will believe it. It's like, oh yeah, of course, if he says it like that. Just
I read
What
that
does-
there was some early studies to get rid of hurricanes. They were planning on dropping nukes into them.
yes, I've read that before.
Well, that
But
was
it
a
turns
suggestion
out-
that Trump had.
What, blow up a hurricane?
Yes.
But I think that the energy of even like 100 megaton nuke would still not be as much energy as a hurricane
I
or
was
something.
I was trying to look recently. God, this is something I had looked up that I wanted to talk about on the podcast a couple of months ago, but I didn't write down the specifics. So I'm going to go off the top of my head here. But I was thinking about hurricanes, as you do, and I started to wonder. What happened? Oh, I remember. Like after Hamilton came out, this is when I was thinking about it. After Hamilton came out on Disney Plus, like I watched it, and like early in Hamilton, he talks about like growing up and a hurricane coming through and destroying the town he lived in, and it made me start wondering like what did hurricane tracking used to be like, right? Like before satellites, how much advance warning did people have that a hurricane was coming? Because you think about it, like satellites are a fairly recent thing, being able to look at weather on that scale. So if I'm remembering right, going off the top of my head, I think that like accurate hurricane tracking didn't start until like the mid 60s, and in the mid 60s they could predict the hurricane movement out to like 1 day, and
Wow.
it wasn't until like the early 80s that they could do 3 days, and then it wasn't until like the year 2000 that they could do 7-day forecast for hurricane path. It's like it's still a
Shit.
relatively new thing that we can predict with any kind of accuracy where a hurricane's going to go. I guess now with a satellite, you can see them forming and you know that they're out there, but to be able to track and predict where they're going to go is still like a really new science. And for me, it's like something I'd always taken for granted. It's like, oh, well, yeah, there's a hurricane coming. They told us and we need to get out of here. But it's like within my lifetime, like the amount of days that we have to track it has doubled.
That is
Wow.
actually crazy. But also now, obviously, we have even more ability to predict them because the president can actually predict where they're going based on no satellite information whatsoever,
It's true.
where he just draws it on a map.
Yeah.
And that's how.
And then that's
it's
the
done.
truth.
Yeah, easy. What? Screw science. Let's just do that.
Yeah, you were saying, Barbara, like that double hurricane's crazy. Everyone keeps saying it's like a once in a lifetime thing, or it's like
Uh,
unprecedented to have 2 different hurricanes
I saw
coming in
not
the same
to
spot.
yeah, not to make light of something like that, but I saw someone making a really funny joke online about how they like clipped that piece of news about the 2 hurricanes coming in, and they're just like, "Man, I strive to be like 2020." It's like, all right, here I'm putting in all my effort, and guess what? I'm gonna keep topping myself. I'm gonna keep topping myself to make things worse and worse and worse. Just when you think it's bad enough, guess what? Here's something
2020
else.
is like when you've played a video game for too long and then you just start using a bunch of cheat codes all at once because it's like the end of the game and you just just like fire everything.
I saw someone, they posted a meteorological map of North America, and it shows like all the fires in California, like the western half of the United States all on fire, and the 2 hurricanes coming up through the Gulf. And they captioned it something like, when you leave SimCity and running and you forget to pause it when you leave the room.
That's good.
Yep. Accurate.
Weren't there big robots that could attack, like alien robots could attack in SimCity?
Yeah, I think like in SimCity 2000 at least you could trigger
remember that.
Yeah. When's that
like
gonna
aliens
happen?
or big robots.
You get Godzilla too, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
There's also,
That's
I
not-
woke up this morning to, so I get news on my phone, and I woke up to a headline about how it's either a meteor or an asteroid coming towards Earth. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I read through the article, and it's like, yeah, scientists predict that it'll be this size by the time it won't even make it through the atmosphere. It'll crumble. And I'm like, why the fuck are you using this headline to be like, hey, are you already scared? Well, guess what? Here's something to scare you even more and make
to get you to
even more
click it.
paranoid. Yeah.
To get you to read it.
but just like, fuck, that really freaked me out because I was just like, oh great, now there's a thing hurtling towards Earth while the hurricanes are coming in and things are on fire and people are dying. Wow.
How wide does an asteroid have to be to the point where it's like global annihilation?
About this.
I don't
big.
think it's
Probably not that big.
that big.
Well, wasn't the one that took out the dinosaurs not as big as people thought it would have been to wipe out the entirety of the dinosaur
Because
population?
it just hits really hard, huh?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's just like the energy that it's carrying. It's equivalent to like a nuclear what? to dropping nukes, basically, but much bigger.
I'm trying to see if I can figure out how big it is. Barbara, you killed Barbara.
I just love when Gavin like confuses himself mid-sentence. It's my favorite. It's my favorite thing he does.
Why did I say nuclear?
What?
You can be president of the United States.
Man. Are you looking up how big it was, Gus? You said?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how big it was or how big of an asteroid needs to be to.
So when they say it only has a
wipe out life.
0.09 or something % chance of hitting us, why do they not know exactly where it's going to go? Why is there still a chance?
I don't know.
Shouldn't it be like yes or no at this point?
I don't know anymore.
It's like hurricanes.
Yeah.
So it's Hurricane Marco and Hurricane Laura.
Yeah.
They're getting
Dude.
married. They're going to make a little hurricane baby.
It would have been if one of them was called. Never mind. I was gonna say one of them was called Polo.
Polo.
Marco and Polo.
I Googled, I know this is very touching on Gavin or Google, but I Googled how big. Could you guys guess what any of the top searches are for that?
How big is an average penis?
How big can titties get?
Nope and nope.
Chris.
Okay.
How big until it hurts?
What does that mean?
I don't know.
All right, well, this search is maybe affected by the fact that I'm in Austin, but how big is an acre? How big is Texas? How big is the iPhone 11? How big is shrimp? Is my favorite one.
What's the result to how big is shrimp?
Let's look that up. How big? 1.5 to 3 inches.
What's the biggest shrimp? Is that the biggest shrimp? 3 inches?
I guess so.
Biggest
Like,
That's pretty
biggest
big.
shrimp.
prawns are
and ever. Is it ever?
prawns are big.
Yeah, but prawns aren't. Are prawns shrimp?
Yeah, why not?
There's some pretty big shrimp, guys.
Look, when I order a prawn cocktail in England and I order a shrimp cocktail here, I get the same thing. I get some
Prawn
delicious.
versus shrimp.
Now, because I Googled that, my first query for how many comes up is how many shrimp in a pond. I don't even know what that means.
Is that a term?
Who's
I don't
pond?
know.
Like, is a pond a unit of measurement?
I also like the fact someone Googles that. How many shrimp in a pond? Just kidding.
Shrimp and prawn have different anatomies.
Bollocks. What's the difference?
Prawns have branching. God damn, who's fucking calling me? I'm doing a podcast. Prawns have branching gills, claws on 3 pairs of their legs, and second pinchers that are larger than their front ones. Prawns lack the distinct bend in their bodies that is seen with shrimp, and each of their body segments overlaps the one behind it in succession. Shrimp, on the other hand, have plate-like gills and claws on 2 pairs of their legs. Their front pinchers are typically the largest. Additionally, shrimp have a distinct bend in their bodies, and the second segments overlap the first and third segments.
Damn.
Could you pickle a shrimp?
Ooh.
Sure, I'm gonna look it up. Pickled shrimp.
That would probably be nasty as fuck.
That would be.
Oh no,
grim.
there's Southern style pickled shrimp.
I
No,
also
don't pickle shrimp.
I
You
gotta-
pickle Barbara a banana. You pickle me a shrimp.
I'm gonna put you
Yeah.
on the list, Chris.
Go for it, Chris. Can't wait
Gavin
to
asked
see
for
you
a
eat that.
pickled Snickers.
Ooh,
Did
I
I?
want that.
That
Never
sounds
mind.
good.
Yeah, it's on my list here. My pickle experiments to come. We kind of got away from it. I want to play the game that
Okay.
that that we came up with.
You just
Shrimp
That,
or prawn?
It's not shrimp or prawn. That is not the
Oh
game.
man, can we play that next week?
Yeah, I'll see if I can do shrimp or prawn next
Just
week.
show us pictures, and then we have to guess if we're looking at a shrimp or a prawn.
But you already know that they have larger front pinchers and 3 segmented legs or
we,
something.
are, we
It'll
already,
be a
we already
great
forgot
game.
that.
Oh,
and they're
man.
between 1.5 and 3 inches. If it's
See?
You
a
gotta
shrimp.
look at the picture. It's the pictures that we look at because we know the descriptions, but if we look at pictures, it'll be a lot harder, I think.
You
I'm gonna
never
need
know.
a nice graphic for shrimp or prawn.
Well,
Eric.
here's the thing. Right now, I only have the graphic that we have for this game, and it's a little game we call Guess the MPAA Rating.
Wow! Oh!
Wow, that was what an incredible intro.
I want to
for
comment
Guess-
that the bucket still had fried chicken in half of it.
Well, sometimes people are busy, and things have to happen to just get intros made.
Can I
and
You
you
some-
had
one
an
more
extra
time?
week on this one.
I'm sorry, Barbara. What was that? One more time.
I wanted to see it one more time because I'm pretty sure you use Comic Sans as the font, and I just
Okay,
wanted to
can
clarify.
Shane, can we roll that one more time?
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is a game we call MPA, Guess the MPA Rating. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago and said, you know what? Some movies have weird MPAA ratings. I don't have any lower thirds for this. I don't have anything real fancy. I just want you guys to guess MPAA ratings for different movies. I'll give you a movie. I'll give you the year it came out. And you tell me what you think it's rated.
For our international audience, should we go over the United States MPAA ratings?
Yeah, the lowest rating, which would be general audiences, would be G. Parental guidance is the second lowest rating, and that would be PG. The next rating would be PG-13, which is parental guidance for children under the age of 13. Then we have R, which is restricted, no one under the age of 17 without an adult or a
Oh,
guardian.
17. I thought it was 18.
It is 17. And then we have NC-17, or X, however you want to qualify or classify that, and it means this movie's fucking hot, bro.
What's
Check it
NC?
out.
Like no children?
Yeah, I think so.
I think no children under 17.
It's no children, period, even with
Even with the
adult
accompaniment.
Yeah, exactly. It's just no children, period, no one under 17. It means, hey man, this is too hot. You got to see how
hot.
fucking hot this is.
Hot
You
Luckily
got to
damn.
we have
grow
the
up before
internet.
you can experience this hotness.
Yeah. Luckily, we have the internet now, so it's really not that big of a deal if something is rated NC-17. You can just Google it and see all the parts you want to see anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You can't wear out a tape anymore at your friend's dad's house. The first movie, Ice Age 1, came out in the year 2001. What is the MPAA rating for Ice Age 1? It's the movie with the little rat monster. He's got the
Ray,
acorn.
Ray
It's-
Romano's the mammoth.
Yeah.
I love
Everybody
that
loves
movie.
that
Be a
guy.
PG. That's got to be
That's
some
PG.
sort of intense scenes of animal fear.
It's a G. It's an animated movie for kids.
It could still be a PG animated movie.
I remember that
Gee.
movie, and I remember
Look at Who
loving that
Framed Roger
movie.
Rabbit.
PG.
That's gonna be PG.
G.
Okay. We have Chris, Barbara, and Gavin all saying PG and Gus saying G. The answer is PG. Parental guidance suggested. Can you believe
Pickle
that?
that, Gus.
It's probably because that squirrel's playing with his nuts the whole time.
Oh, what?
Whoa.
Did Gus just say that? Not on the Rooster Teeth podcast. The next movie from the year 1982, Poltergeist. Poltergeist from 1982. What do you think the MPAA rating of Poltergeist was?
People were
I'm
a
just
lot.
going to say PG,
PG.
for every single movie you mention.
People
Okay.
were a lot tougher back then.
Were
Well,
they though? I think
yeah.
people are tougher now.
Yeah, I always hear stories about American kids just watching whatever. Like,
Yeah, it's
hey,
really weird
you're-
that Gus
you're
is the
8 years
oldest
old?
one here and going, yeah, everyone was tougher when I was younger.
Y'all
I'm
are
gonna
pussies
say
now.
I'm gonna say PG-13. I think.
PG.
13. Okay, so we have
I'm gonna say G.
Gus is gonna say G for
But
Poltergeist.
Ice Age PG. That makes
I
sense.
said G for Ice Age,
Yep, and
No, but it was PG though.
but that, because people are pussies now.
I'm going for PG, box standard PG.
okay, and Chris is also saying PG, and Barbara's saying PG-13.
Yeah.
The answer for Poltergeist 1982 is PG. It is
Oh.
PG. Can you believe
Well,
that?
I did learn
I can.
from Gus, I think, that Red Dawn was the first PG-13.
How about that? How about
Is it
that?
PG because it's
So
poltergeist?
that would have been before.
Yeah, it's rated PG for Poltergeist. They
Knew it.
said
Yeah. Okay.
this is too perfect. We can't rate it R. It's not called Roltergeist. Poltergeist is PG.
Right.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah, totally.
The
makes sense.
next movie from 2010, King's Speech. King's Speech from 2010.
R.
R.
I was also going to guess R, but now I kind of just want to go against the grain. I'll go PG-13 for that one.
Okay. Who hasn't guessed?
Everyone
Well,
said
I
R.
think everyone said R except for Barbara.
Wow. Okay. Okay. And the answer to the King's Speech 2010, it is R.
It's all
It
the
is
profanity.
rated R. It's because he said fuck a lot in that one scene, I think. He says like bloody piss, shit, shit, shit.
Oh, that's
fuck,
gonna be me later with the botulism. Bloody.
Meanwhile, Poltergeist, same rating. I mean, lower rating. I mean,
Yep. Yeah, crazy, right? Next, from 2008, just 2 years before the King's Speech, The Dark Knight. 2008, The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
PG-13.
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 Yeah.
Everyone saying PG-13 is
PG-13.
is whoa. Gus said it cool. PG-13. It is PG-13.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you believe it? Can you believe
Yes.
it? Should have been R probably.
Yeah.
but
That was
it not.
all four of us got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone got that one. Congratulations. Next, 2 years before The Dark Knight, Snakes on a Plane.
R.
PG-13.
R.
I don't
Okay.
think you can say a heavy MF in a PG-13.
You can do
Maybe
it
you can.
once.
I think you get one F in a PG-13.
I thought it was an F you get, but not an MF.
I think he gets a lot of Fs, right, in that movie.
Also, there's like titties out
He's-
and tits getting bit, and dicks and tits and stuff.
But he does say motherfucking twice in that line, right? Get these motherfucking snakes off my motherfucking plane.
Oh,
There you
shit.
go. That's your two.
So does that mean this podcast is now rated R because you just said that twice?
Oh,
No, it's,
yeah.
it's
Not because I called,
NC-17.
No,
not
it's,
because I called Americans pussies.
it's still rated PG for Poltergeist. So Snakes on a Plane. Chris, you're saying PG-13. Everyone else is saying
Well,
R.
now-
Is that right?
I guess I'll stick
Yeah.
with PG-13.
Okay. The answer is R, and it is exactly for that reason. You can't say motherfucker. Can you believe that?
I think
But
didn't
what
they
about
say
fatherfucker?
they wanted to change that line to try to get it to PG-13, but Samuel Jackson didn't want to.
Yeah,
he
they're
said
like,
the whole
"Oh."
reason he wanted to do that movie was for that line.
Yeah, a big reason that they wanted it R is that they pushed for it to be R. They actually wanted to have the R rating because it was a B movie, and they wanted people to kind of go and experience that B movie
That
kind
makes
of a
sense.
thing. So it makes sense to me. So
Yeah.
I only have a couple left, so bear with me here. From 1989, All Dogs Go to Heaven.
PG.
Ooh, dogs dying. R.
I didn't know that movie.
PG.
I don't know that movie either.
Really? You guys don't know that movie?
You don't know all dogs go to heaven?
Can I have a brief synopsis?
I think it's Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise as dogs who die and come back. Is that kind of the
And they have
long
to,
and
like,
short of
save
it?
a little girl.
13.
They have to save a little girl.
It's
or
an
something.
animated movie. It's like a cartoon movie.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh. G.
PG-13.
PG.
Chris, what do you think?
PG.
Okay, and Gavin is the only one who got it right at G. It is rated G, which is crazy because it scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Without even seeing it, I think I'm 100% still. By the way,
I think you've done very well. Let me see. Yes, you are. You were running the table on this, Gavin. You could be in the MPAA and we would never know.
I do want to point
Never
out,
know. That's incredible.
quickly, I stated early on that we've gotten more harsh with ratings and more sensitive to things. That an animated movie from '89 was rated G, but an animated movie from the 2000s, Ice Age, is rated PG.
PG.
Something to think about.
I bet the MPAA just saw that it was animated and thought that's for kids.
Yep.
And not even watch it.
It is scary. Like, there's a scene where they're like, they go to hell or something. I don't know. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. It was fucking crazy. Next up, I only have two more. From 1968, Planet of the Apes, the original. Now, Planet of the Apes.
Original.
Yeah, that's how you say it in Spanish. You can ask us.
PG-13.
PG.
Yeah.
PG.
Is there anything really bad in that movie?
G.
I'm gonna go G.
Okay.
No, because you just say damn dirty apes.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
Was damn considered a naughty word for children
This-
back then though?
This was 1968, so you tell me.
PG.
Oh, it was 68.
I'm gonna say G.
Gus, you're going to say PG?
G.
Okay, Gus, you're going to say G?
G.
Okay, Gus is saying G. Chris, you said PG?
PG.
Gavin, you said G, and Barbara said PG-13.
I said PG-13, but it is 68, so it's probably PG.
Wasn't
But I'm
around.
going to stick to 13.
Okay. The answer, Planet of the Apes 1968, is G. Gavin is successfully running the table. This is the very last one here.
What?
Oh no, now the pressure's
Yep.
on.
This is all up to Gavin. Don't blow it. Everyone's watching
Oh,
you.
no,
Your
I'm
hair is
freaking
like
out.
that on purpose, and everyone sees what you look like, and they're gonna know if you mess this up. From 1975, Jaws, 1975. What is the MPAA rating?
PG.
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 I'm gonna say PG, even though there's like just
There's
gore
boobs
and
in
heads
it.
coming
There's-
off and tits
There's nudity.
and a freaking leg comes off and a shark blows up. Spoiler. I'm gonna say PG.
PG.
Barbara?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably PG, but I'm still going to stick with PG-13 just for funsies.
Okay.
There's no chance of me winning, so why not?
Right. Chris, you said PG?
Oh, it might be 13, wouldn't it?
Oh,
Wait, what
can
year
we
was
get
it?
can we get a close up on Gavin? Can we just get a close up
75.
on Gavin? We just close on Gavin. It came out in 1975. You named all the things. You named all these things. You said PG, and then you named all the stuff that was in this movie. Violence, nudity, an exploding shark.
It's got to be PG. It's got to be PG because if it is PG, that's insanity. That's a messed up movie,
PG.
man.
PG.
PG.
The answer to Jaws, 1975. And if Gavin has run the table on Guess the MPAA rating, the new game sweeping the Rooster Teeth Nation, it is PG, and Gavin has done it. Incredible. Wow.
A
Gavin,
rating system that I didn't even grow up with. I'll
No.
just also throw
Show,
out.
show us your award that you got, Gavin.
yeah, show us an award that says
Thank
that
you
you
very
Wow.
much
Wow.
for winning PG. What was the name of this movie? Shrimp or Lobster? The game show. Thank you to all my
the
other
name of the
contestants.
game, and we can
Shrimp
show
or
the
prawn?
graphic one more time, is Guess the MPAA rating.
All right, the next week, shrimp or prawn.
I don't want to play shrimp or
Shrimp
prawn.
What do you
prawn.
mean? It's just such a good game, Eric.
All right, I'll
It's
see
going
what-
to be just...
You should throw a crawfish in there too, just to fuck with us.
Okay, shrimp or prawn. I'm writing it down. For
You know
some
what my
reason.
favorite game is?
What?
Is when you have a close-up of someone's face, just their face, and you have to guess if it's a drummer or porn. Because usually, if someone's
Whoa.
like
'Cause-
they're like doing a or like musician or porn.
Whoa, I like that.
Yeah.
I might just go look at some drummer pictures after this.
I might just go look at some porn.
Might.
So look up some drummer porn.
Yeah, well,
Is there any
porn-
8K porn?
Oh God, now I got to look it up.
Like, at what
It-
point is it just too much information? Is there any like 70mm IMAX porn?
There's gotta be.
Someone
Uh,
has.
What was
Pornhub-
what was
Shoot.
There are
that
some.
guy watching in the theater? What's his face?
Who? What?
That like actor who what's his he has like the suspenders.
Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman. Thank you. I don't know how you got it from my very vague
Yeah.
description. But
Yeah.
he wasn't he caught watching porn in a movie theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they used to have
Wasn't
adult
caught
movie
watching
theaters.
porn. That was like the whole point of the place. wasn't
No,
it?
I know, but it was the whole point. Like he wasn't watching it like in the back secretly. He was watching it on the screen, but
No,
I guess
well, he
because
got
he
a-
was like a kid's
I thought it's because his
personality.
knob was out.
Yeah, he got arrested for indecent exposure because he had his dick out. But I've never. I don't know what. Do people not all have their dicks out at a?
Listen,
Rated R
he was targeted, and he got fucked over by that whole thing.
Sounds like you did.
I mean, there wasn't a lot of ways to watch porn, then,
Porn.
right?
Correct.
There was-
there are videos on the internet that claim to be 8K porn. I don't have an 8K display, so I can't tell you.
There was a video on Netflix that I wanted you guys to watch that I think got taken down because I couldn't find it anymore. But there was a movie on Netflix called Love, which if you're going to look it up, I don't know if it'll be the right one, but if you do find it, viewer discretion is advised. But it just starts off with these two people who are completely naked. And this guy is like big ass limp dick is just out, and the woman is just like stroking it, but they're both lying on their sides, and it goes on for like 2.5 minutes.
NC-17.
That wasn't even me. That was Shane. He killed that one. That was great.
That was great. So does stuff on Netflix have to go through the MPAA?
I don't know, but that's what I was so shocked about. I was like, people just have access to Netflix of all ages, and something like this seems very inappropriate. There wasn't really much.
I think
Yeah,
you
but
can
that's-
have different accounts for kids.
There's like TV channels that are just like
True.
women with tits out and all that. Anyone can find that anyway.
That's true.
I mean, I remember I used to like there was a passcode for like the TV to watch certain channels. Got a hold of that. Spied on a parent, got it, and then like could watch all the rated R and stuff. That was
Did
great.
like a little mental snapshot of the code.
Yeah, that was great. Once you got access, once you had the code, man, that was a good summer.
So apparently that movie came out in 2015, and it's rated around the world. It's pretty much rated everywhere 18 plus, but in the US it just got released on Netflix, and they just gave it a TVMA because I guess it didn't go through the cinema.
Oh, so the TV ratings are different.
Yes, because the MPAA self-polices with the ratings. That's the Motion Picture Association of America. TV rating. I don't know who the fuck comes up with TV ratings. That's not the MPAA though. Who makes?
Yeah, I don't
TV?
even know all the TV ones.
Like TVMA.
It's like teen?
TVY10. Fuck.
Oh. Maybe I'm thinking of games that were teen.
TV.
I feel like in England, if it was a little bit risque, it'd be like, oh, just shove it on after 9 p.m. Just play whatever. Watershed.
Right. I can't find them. I don't fucking know. I never pay attention to that shit. It doesn't matter to me. I'm an adult. I watch whatever the fuck I want.
Could I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
I kind of use this podcast as a way to settle debates between Trevor and I, like, and sometimes it doesn't go in my favor, like the chocolate milk debate.
Yeah.
So yesterday we made dinner, and Trevor's like, "Oh, could you pass me a spoon?" And we have silverware that's different sizes. We have larger versus smaller, depending on what you want to use. And I said, "Oh, what size spoon do you want?" And he goes, "Regular size." And I was like, "Well, we have the small spoons and the big spoons." And he goes, well, just give me the normal size one. And I was like, there is normal size. There's a small and a big. And he was like, well, one of them is a normal size and one of them is a small. Or one of them is like a big spoon. I forget which
I
one.
gotta point out that there's already a system in place with teaspoons, tablespoons. They all have names.
Yeah, that's a good
Well,
argument. But we didn't
yeah.
use
Like,
that.
just call it by the name.
I would also say that the normal spoon is the big spoon. If I was gonna just like,
If it was
put
based
them in a
on
bucket.
frequency used, I would also agree.
You are
Yeah.
insane. Teaspoon is the normal spoon.
He said the smaller spoon was the normal spoon.
Yes.
But what do
that
you
is
do
correct.
more of?
No, that's
Eating
that's
from a
for
spoon or
savoring.
stirring
Well,
shit?
that was my argument. I was like, well, if you're having soup or cereal, you'll probably want the bigger spoon. But if I don't know what the smaller spoon would even be used for.
The small spoon is only for like stirring stuff or for ice cream.
No, I
Like,
disagree with the
slowly
soup.
eating ice cream so you savor it.
Soup, you would use a soup spoon, which is a different type of spoon.
Well, I would
We
not
don't
always
have, we don't have a
more
different
than-
type of spoon.
It's like it's like if you took a sphere and just used the bottom and hollowed it out.
Yeah, but
That's the
Barbara,
soup.
I'm,
spoon.
I'm putting an image in Discord. Is this what they look like?
What? Do you want me to go get them so you could see?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hold, please. I got to go run to my kitchen.
I have to see these.
I would say, you got your teaspoons, your tablespoons, your soup spoons, and maybe like a big serving spoon.
Yeah. Typically,
that-
I think
that's
the
it for me in
teaspoon.
spoons.
The teaspoon is the default go-to.
I use that for tea, for like stirring shit and getting tea bags out.
Yeah, it's for liquids. And the
Yeah.
tablespoon is for solids.
So soup is a liquid, so you
Yeah.
use the small one for soup.
No. It even says it's a teaspoon and a tablespoon. The teaspoon is for stirring tea. The tablespoon is for putting on the
Stirring
table so you
tables?
eat with it.
You're
no.
going in two different directions here, Chris. All right, let's see them, Barbara. Can we,
All right. Here are the spoons. They look
Teaspoon,
pretty similar.
tablespoon.
Yeah. The one in Barbara's right hand is the normal spoon. That is the normal spoon. That is the default spoon.
I disagree. I would much more frequently use the big spoon.
No, I never use the big spoon. The big spoon's for big mouth monsters.
What do you mean never use the big spoon? What about cereal?
No, the little spoon. I used a little spoon to eat my cereal this morning.
What? No.
What, you got like one frosted flake on a frickin' spoon?
No, I got like 20 Cheerios, motherfucker.
This is the thing. I'll go for the smaller spoon if I want to eat slower, but I'll do the bigger spoon if I want to get more in my mouth.
No, the little spoon every time.
No, it's big spoon.
Why use a little spoon to eat with? Unless it's like a dainty little yogurt, that's when I would use a small one, or stirring tea. If it's food from a meal, like dinner, use the big spoon.
I'm not a monster. I don't need to fill my mouth with food on every spoonful. I can put a little bit in my mouth and savor it. How about that? I'm not a dog. I'm not going face down in my bowl, and I'm not just eating.
If I'm having a nice big mouthful of Frosties, it's going in the tablespoon. I'm sucking that down with as much milk as possible. It's all going in. It's delicious. I can polish off cereal in like 3 minutes.
Yes, because you don't want your cereal to get
agrees
soggy.
with me.
You don't want your cereal to get soggy. It'll get soggy if you use a little spoon.
You got to go for speed. And if you're
seeing
dealing
a lot
with
of Gavin.
Weetabix, if you got Weetabix on the go, you don't want to be chipping away with a tiny spoon, just flinging everywhere. You need nice big mouthfuls before the sogginess kicks in.
Here's my issue though. That's why I say small or big. If which spoon do you want? You want the smaller or the bigger one? Because if you say the normal spoon, that's up to interpretation.
Which was the normal spoon to Trevor?
Say teaspoon and
the
tablespoon.
smaller one.
Yes,
Damn it,
see,
it's
Trevor,
got name.
rational human being. Trevor
No,
is,
he's a
I
fool.
would say
is
the
not
bigger
a
one.
monster. Team Trevor.
I would honestly say you are both fools for even having to argue about it.
Trevor
They
and
have
I,
names.
Gavin.
Use the freaking
Gavin,
names.
Trevor and I are probably the two smartest people you know, and we agree on this. I'm just saying.
Well, that is true. You guys are both very smart.
Some cereal is huge, like massive. How do you eat more than one on a teaspoon?
Like, what cereal is huge? What cereal are you eating?
Like, what are those?
Like a
mini wheats. They're
Mini
huge.
wheats. All right, mini wheats. There's mini
mini
wheats,
wheats
but
are
then there's like
mini
Or
wheats
just
are,
wheats.
Mini wheats are
Frosted
perfect
wheats.
on the little spoon. You get one at a time.
Some of them
no,
are
you don't
huge.
want one at a
Some of
time.
them
You
are-
want like 4 or 5 at a
No.
time for the maximum flavor.
I'm not an animal. One at a time.
Okay, if you say you're eating a Kit Kat, right? Do you just chip off like millimeters worth of Kit Kat at a time? Do you get full satisfaction, or do you need to bite like half the Kit Kat finger off?
I'm in the
and be like,
U.S.
yeah,
I'm in the U.S. I eat half an inch at a time.
Look at the size of shredded wheat. Look at the size. I'm put it in the Discord.
I know how big shredded wheat is, dude.
Look at the picture. It's huge.
A tablespoon's not helping you there either.
Where is
this
this
doesn't
going?
help me at all.
Look how big they are.
I'm looking at this picture.
They're huge.
Yeah, you know how to eat
okay.
those, right? Like you put water and you like rip it apart with the spoon. You don't eat the whole thing at once.
No,
Chris,
you
when you
cut-
eat shredded
you
wheat,
put
do you put
water
the
in
whole
it?
thing in your mouth?
You cut them. You
No,
cut them in half with the big spoon and then you eat it.
Yeah, that's like similar to how you would tackle a Weetabix. But Gus, did you say you put water on them?
Did I say water? That's not what I meant.
You meant milk.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, either way, it's not
Milk,
like a
milk.
weird British-American divide here. It's called a frickin' tablespoon.
Yeah.
No, go back.
I'm out.
Gavin, don't feel bad. I'm
I
the
don't
one who
care.
said to put water on cereal.
We don't have the ability to do polls anymore. Because
No.
I'm trying to watch chat to see what people agree with, and it
Well,
really
okay,
seems to be split.
People should leave us a
Why can't we
comment.
do
Leave us a
polls?
comment on the Rooster Teeth site, and we'll go through. And I'll try to count up as many as I can before next podcast, and we'll come back and I'll give you the results. So
essentially, the debate is which one would you consider the normal spoon, or would you just be like me and say small or big?
right. So
you don't
but
know.
we need to know which one is normal.
Right.
They
All
have.
We need we
They
need,
have names.
we need to wrap up.
They have names.
We got to cut over to that Steve-O interview.
Boo! It's not done. It's
Well,
not done.
we got to let people know. So show them up one more time, Barbara.
Okay.
So is it that one in Barbara's right hand, or is it the bigger one in Barbara's left hand? Which is the normal spoon?
I love Gus. I love that you're saying which hand it's in. It's doesn't matter that you're saying which hand it's in. People are going to go, the one on the right, which is going to fuck everybody up either way.
Okay,
Wait,
the small
right?
spoon or the big spoon? Which is the normal spoon?
Wow, easy to
you go.
say
Big
that,
spoon.
huh?
Okay, we gotta go. Stay tuned. We're gonna show that Steve-O interview right now.
Idiots.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.
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 Hey everyone, welcome to this supplemental bonus content for the Rooster Teeth podcast. We've got two familiar faces you see every week. It's Gus and Gavin. And another, I'm sure, very familiar face you don't see every week with us. We got Steve-O joining us. How's it going, Steve? Steve-O? Steve?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, call me whatever you want, man. I don't mind a bit.
We'll call you by your full name, Stephen O.
Well, technically, my full name is Stephen, spelled with a PH, middle name Gilchrist, last name Glover.
I actually remember watching the, I think it was the audio commentary for the first Jackass movie, and you introduced yourself like that, and I remember being blown away that was your full name. I was like, I can't believe I didn't know his name. It's crazy.
Right, yeah, one would assume that O, plays into a first initial somewhere, but it really doesn't. It just came from drunk people screaming at keg parties, sort of egging me on while I did dumb stuff. Steve-O!
I mean, well, it's like iconic, right? There's not many people in the world who have who go by one name. It's like, that's you. You got it set. It's like you're up there with like Madonna.
I mean, I don't know that I'm up there with Madonna, but it was something I agonized over a great deal. And I recall very well, I was in jail in 1996. I was serving a 10-day jail sentence for my second DUI arrest. And shoot, I don't even know if I was legal age to drink yet. I was actually 21 at that time. But in any case, I'm in this big sort of it looked like it's sort of a gymnasium, like just this big, huge, gymnasium room filled with bunk beds with all the prisoners. And I was able to procure a pencil and a bunch of loose leaf paper. And I thought, okay, while I'm in here, while I'm in jail, I'm gonna write my memoirs, right? And the first thing I wrote was, they call me Steve-O, but I'm thinking about switching back to Steve Glover because I've kind of begun a career now, and I'm not sure if I want a nickname when I'm famous. Which I really, because I wanted to be a stunt performer. I had this vision. Everybody felt sorry for me for committing to the plan, but it occurred to me that to be a professional entertainer with the name Steve-O, that it might undermine me. People I've got this goofy name, people won't take me seriously, and I just wasn't sure, even though I was Steve-O. But then I ended up doing my first show on stage in front of hundreds of people, and it was 700 people. It was a show for a radio station, and I, billed myself as Steve-O, the alcoholic gymnast. And my act was to shotgun. I shotgunned like 9 beers in a row, and then did shitty acrobatics. And the more I drank, the more the crowd got into it. The crowd was chanting Steve-O, Steve-O. And when I heard them screaming my name, I thought, if I said my name was Steve, there would be no chanting. Nobody will ever fucking scream Steve. And I decided to commit at that point. That's it. I'm Steve-O for real. It's official. And in hindsight, it was such a good idea because having a memorable name, like a short, easy to remember name that's just kind of goofy. If you look at the guys who have name recognition on Jackass, or I should say the most name recognition, like Bam, Johnny Knox, nobody who uses the name on their driver's license has the most name recognition. So in hindsight, I think I did very well with that.
In Jackass, it was one of the names to remember because I didn't necessarily know how to pronounce some of the other names. Like I didn't figure out how to pronounce Margera or like Aaron's last name, but Steve-O is always like everyone knows how to pronounce Steve-O.
Right. Well, thank you. And by the way, Gavin, it's great to see you, brother. It's you're a guy who I've always really admired and respected, dude. I love what you've done.
Same, dude.
With,
that day when you, the day when you just came to my house and we did some slow-mo fire breathing backflips. 2 days.
Yeah,
we
the
had to
2
come back,
days,
right?
man. Yeah,
I can't believe how long it's been. It's been almost 5 years now at this point, right?
it
Yeah,
has.
it was like
I want to say that was
2015?
November 2015.
2015. Yeah, I remember having
Yeah.
just a ridiculous grin on my face throughout that video because obviously grew up watching Jackass, but I was also like trying to concentrate on trying to make a good video. But I just have this dumb grin because I'm stood next to Steve-O in my own backyard. Because you didn't on the first day you came, you didn't bring anyone. I was assuming you would like have a team or like some people with you, but it was just like you and me just shooting, just shooting together. It was great.
Yeah, I didn't bring anybody the second day either, did I?
You brought Scott the second day.
Oh, how about that? Okay. Yeah, Scott Randolph. Yeah, he's a star. But yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I remember feeling a little bit like, man, that video came out so great, and I gave it to those guys for their channel. Like, fuck. But it got way more viewership on your channel than it ever would have gotten on mine, and so it was a real favor that you did to me and an honor. And then for my first stand-up comedy special, you kindly licensed the footage to me for to include in there. That was really nice of you too.
Hell yeah. And I actually, well, I feel like I think I texted you a few months ago saying that your YouTube channel is like the best channel on YouTube because you have all these great stories, just the insane stories that most people will never have, but also you have footage of almost all of it. Like you can tell a story from like sometime in the 90s. It's like, and here's the clip of it. And it just fits so well. It's like the best form of storytelling. It's not reenactments or anything. It's just like, and here's that exact moment because I have everything filmed. It's great.
Well, dude, thank you so much, man. You know, this whole journey for me in comedy, at first it was a real departure from what I'm known for. It's like, now I'm going to become a stand-up comic. And I gave it hell. I really went for it. I got that first special and it was good. But I figured it out along the way that if I do stand-up where it's multimedia and I can actually edit footage into the stand-up, then, now I've really got something going. And so I just put out this new special, which I found a home for all kinds of footage that would never be allowed on YouTube. I mean, terribly filthy stuff that even Netflix won't go anywhere near. And I just let it ride, man. I made the most explicit, just frankly fucked up comedy special, telling these just X-rated stories and like all this crazy stuff. And what's special about it is that you're seeing the footage actually, the footage of the stories that I'm telling in this stand-up routines. I was so excited about it, and that's why I duct taped myself to the billboard last week. And dude, I just can't. I can't say enough about how psyched I am on the way this special came out, and how grateful I am that the whole Jackass gang got together for it. So every one of the guys, of course, except Ryan, but every one of the guys is in it. And fuck, dude, I went for it, dude. I went for it, man. I got skin grafts on 15% of my body doing one of the stunts I filmed for it. From the Fire Angels. But
From
yeah, so in any case,
pockets of skin hanging off.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. This is such a crazy story, man. That's the closer of the special. And that's why I was so excited to talk to you, so I could let everybody know at steveo.com, because it's the only place I can show it. You can see this you can see this absurd multimedia special for which I broke so many laws.
I love what you're doing with it. Like you said, if you go to steveo.com, like you're handling it directly, right? Like it's like a direct connection you have with the audience. If they want to see it, they come straight to your website. There's a trailer on there you can watch. You can see a little bit of the things you've talked about. Some of the stuff is in that trailer, including the painted on bicycle shorts are. It's a really, like you said, it's really graphic, not something you would ever see on Netflix.
Right, for sure. Yeah, I encourage everybody to get over there and check out the trailer because, dude, you have to click, yes, I am over 18 years old, in order to view the trailer.
It's like a porn site just for the trailer.
It really is. Just for the trailer, it is a porn site.
I was going to say, when you go to buy it, it even says that by purchasing it, I certify that I am over 18 years old.
Yeah.
So is it actually available to get now?
Yeah, it's totally available right now. I encourage everybody to check it out. I'm so fucking thrilled with it. I'm absolutely thrilled with it. But let's not bog everybody down with me promoting my stuff. Let you know. I pass it over to you guys to steer the ship. Let's get into it.
Well, to talk a little bit more about this for a second, but what a great way to promote it, duct taping yourself to the billboard, because that news went everywhere. And as soon as I heard that this was happening, I was like, what's he doing? I was like, oh, he's got a special coming out. That makes total sense. It's like everyone wants to share that story. Everyone wants to share that, those images of you duct taped up there. And then it's like, well, why did he do? Oh, okay. Well, that makes total sense.
Well, thank you. I had a strong feeling that was gonna be effective, and it really kind of came organically because the opening sequence of the project, it's one of these billboard trucks that you see driving around Las Vegas, and I got one with a billboard promoting the special. I had the entire Jackass cast duct tape me to the billboard on the truck and hit baseballs at me. And then you watch this billboard truck drive hundreds of miles from LA to Denver with me duct taped to the side going down the highway. The lengths that we went to shoot that opening sequence, I gotta say I'm really proud of it, because it's like not even 60 seconds of footage that represents that journey. And dude, the amount of money that I spent and the laws that I broke, the risks that I took, the hospital bills I accrued, the criminal fines, the legal fees. I mean, just the production budget and the promotion, preparing to get it out was like $300,000, man. If you count hospital bills, lawyer fees, criminal fines, restitution, then it's arguably closer to $500,000. So I've never spent more money on anything I've ever done in my entire life, and I don't regret a fucking penny of it. And I don't regret one penny of it. It came out even better than I hoped it would.
How much work actually goes into going back through all of your old? Because by the looks of it, you had like hundreds of tapes. Did you have to employ someone to get all that in order?
It's into the thousands, and I have a general sense, for all the drugs I did, for how much I've hit my head, it's really surprising how, my memory is better than one might imagine. I have a pretty good sense of what was captured on film over the years, but then at the same time, as we digitize, we've got this little deck that you take the old mini DV tapes, you put it in and digitize the footage. Yeah. And we kind of systematically just digitize all the time because there's so much. We'll never get through it all. And in doing so, it's not uncommon that things like, wow, shoot, I can't remember that. Or, I didn't realize that was on film. So it's a tough balance between telling stories and putting stuff out, because there have been incidences where we put out this story, the video of telling some story, and then later discover, oh my God, look at this, we could have had that in there. But for the most part, I think we got it all right. So yeah, it's tough to keep track of how much there is. And there have been times when people say, oh dude, you should have a movie about you. And I always say it'd be a little bit pointless to make a movie about me when everything's on fucking video already. There's not, it'd be a little bit of a letdown, but in any case. So dude, so the slow-mo guys just keeps going, huh?
It's a little bit harder at the moment because Dan lives in the UK, and because of COVID, we can't really get together. So I've been doing some solo ones, but yeah, we're still churning them out.
Do you ever feel like, man, I'm fucking trapped in slow motion? Do you ever have I want to make videos about something other than slow motion? And do you ever do that?
Yeah, I feel like I get that a lot, where it's like, so I do a lot of video game stuff with Rooster Teeth, so that outlet's fine. Obviously, I've got the slow-mo stuff, but yeah, it is a niche, really, so I do have to stay within those realms, because usually if you change what you do on a channel, if I just made a video that had nothing to do with slow motion, I doubt it would get any views. But I do still enjoy it, because we don't make a ton of videos.
I hope that doesn't come up as a criticism or a negative comment, because it's so fucking great what you do. I'm such a genuine fan. It's just that I think more of a curiosity,
Yeah, I mean, there is still stuff where it's like with your special, there is a lot of stuff I can't do because it's on YouTube, like more extreme stuff. Like our stuff is, even our stunts are like very tame in the grand scheme of all stunts. Even like the one we did with you, that was demonetized just because of how dangerous it was. But you know, it's still absolutely was absolutely worth doing. But the stuff we do.
Oh wait, did the backflip get demonetized, or the subsequent one where we set my head on fire?
Yeah, the backflip one eventually got demonetized. Because
wow,
it's
it really
like,
wasn't.
yeah, it's not. I mean, it's you're a professional. You're doing stunts as a professional, but I guess they just don't want a kid finding it necessarily. But still, it's in my top 5 videos that I've ever made, just because of the fun we had doing it. It was such a chill day.
Are you in Austin still?
We're in Austin. Yeah,
all of you guys. Are you in the same studio?
No, I'm in my spare bedroom, and I don't know where Gavin is right now.
Yeah, I'm in my office, but usually we all work together.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I suppose Joe Rogan is moving to Austin, huh?
Yeah, I don't know when that's happening. It's supposed to be pretty soon that he's moving his podcast down here, and I think some other comic podcasters were also talking about making the move as well. I'm curious to see how that's gonna affect like the comedy scene or even the podcasting scene here in Austin. Like if that has a kind of like magnetism to it or not, but we'll see. I mean, we've been podcasting here for so long now. It's we've been doing our podcast for 12 years now. This December will be 12 years that we've been doing it. So
wow,
yeah, it's been a really long time.
Holy cow! And it's been called the Rooster Teeth podcast the whole time.
Well, we called it the Drunk Tank at first, like for the first 100 episodes or so. But of course, we couldn't get any advertisers, so we renamed it the Rooster Teeth podcast, and then we were able to get some advertisers. Same thing like Gavin's talking about with monetization and demonetization. Same kind of shit, different platform.
You guys have been podcasting longer than Joe Rogan. It's crazy.
Maybe, but like I've known Gavin forever. Like, when did we meet, Gavin? How old were you when we met? You were like 15,
something like that. Yeah. I was a big fan of Rooster Teeth for their online content back in the day. So I eventually finagled it so I could move to Austin and work with them. And I started the Slow-Mo Guys in order to help me get a visa to do that. So that's how I've been involved so long. But you, Steve, don't you have you're like half British, right? Or you have like a bunch of passports because you're technically.
I do.
Like
I was born in England, so I'm British. I have a British passport. My mom was born in Canada, so I have a Canadian passport. My father was born in the States, so I have an American passport. 3 total.
I wonder how you get a 4th. You could marry.
Yeah, right. You would think. While we're talking about podcasting too, I would like to point out that I have Steve-O's Wild Ride. Yeah, I'm new to the bandwagon of podcasting. Actually, just putting up my 20th episode.
Do you like podcasting?
I do, man. I do like podcasting. I've found the experience to be so different than I expected. Initially, it was just a pure sense of dread that I was going to have to ask people, will you do my podcast? When that's been such an annoying question to me for so long. You know, I really resisted it for that reason. I didn't want to have to ask people to come on my podcast. And that was why the only way I could bring myself to do it was to buy this Class B motorhome, which affords me the ability to drive the studio to the guest and make it more convenient for them. You know, wherever you want, we'll bring the studio to you. And that's why it's called Wild Ride, because it's literally a ride. And so I thought that it would be, that the booking is anxiety inducing. It does, but I thought it would be, like a lot of work that was going to be this obligation. I thought it would be worth it because, I would expand my audience somehow or really get more engagement from my audience. And in reality, the way it turned out from the first podcast, I discovered that I was just so fucking bad at it, with just the, and I came to realize that it's not a lot of work, that I genuinely enjoy doing it, but that I need so much help in this, that I now view podcasting as an exercise in just improving my communication skills, I'm grateful for that too.
Yeah, back in the day when we first started, I was our one-man podcast department. I'd have to, ground up all the guests. I'd do all the audio editing, post it all. And it was such a giant pain in the ass. I can't imagine like jumping into that all over again. Yeah, now we have a department. We got our producers on the line who are helping out doing all that stuff, which I'm eternally grateful to them, because I can't imagine like you're doing right now, just like being like, I want to do a podcast and starting up and just being like, all right, here we go. Like how do you even begin to approach that nowadays? But I like the way you're approaching it with, making your own studio in an RV and driving around. I've been thinking about renting an RV and driving around and doing something like that.
I can't tell you how much I love this thing. I just can't tell you. Now, initially, I bought this little camper van, like literally like a little tiny minivan, and we would podcast while driving around. We would have suction cups in the windows, which placed a microphone right in between our face and an airbag. So if we got in any fucking, if we got in any accident, like boom, the microphone would just go straight through our skull. It was so bad. And the idea of trying to have a conversation and, while being distracting by driving, let alone if for any reason the guest is like offended or for any other reason needs to cut it short, like, oh, okay, let me just drive you back. If it felt like that. Yeah, that would be really, really awkward and kidnappy, So that was, and it was an important test run to figure it out, to discover that didn't work. And so then I realized that I had to get a bigger RV, and it actually happened that I got into tattooing. I became like an apprentice underneath a professional tattoo artist, and I really was enjoying tattooing. So I thought, let me get a larger van, like an actual Class B RV, and I'll use it as a traveling tattoo shop and podcast studio. And I mean, dude, whenever I'm not podcasting, and we haven't really gotten the tattoo thing going because of COVID, but dude, I use this thing so much, man. I'm crazy about it. I look at my calendar, just longing for 3 days that I can just fuck off and go.
I think that's like the ultimate way to travel right now, especially with COVID and not being able to interact with people. It's like you got your own like little kitchen in there, you got your own bathroom in there. It's like you can just go wherever you want. You want to stop somewhere, you just pull over, go to sleep, take a dump, whatever you want to do. Like you're totally self-sufficient. Completely,
man. Completely. I remember and I got this thing in January. And so, I mean, the end of January, I got it. And like a month after that was the shutdown. And so I was just loving it, dude. I'd go out in the middle of nowhere. I took a picture with the RV, and like everyone's like, oh, dude, you just, stay at home, and I'm like, fuck face, I am at home, dude. It's my motor home. Like, fuck you. Yeah, how about this COVID thing? It turns out that I tested positive for the antibodies, and I have no idea when I ever
So you had it then
COVID.
At some point. That's crazy. Well, that's good that you had no symptoms.
Yeah.
None. I had no inkling that. Never once did I feel even slightly sick. I was shocked to learn that I have the antibodies, but now I get to be a real hero to go and donate plasma to help convalescent people.
That's cool. I've been thinking about getting the antibody test just to see as well. Like like in your case, like you wouldn't know. I've been thinking about getting it just for the hell of it. Like maybe I got it and I didn't have any idea. But of course, no, like of course, I don't have it.
Apparently, it's 40% of people who have COVID are asymptomatic. So damn near half of everybody is. I know, and it makes it really difficult. I mean, the whole situation is difficult, and it, like just what it's not just a health crisis, man. It is it is a real monkey wrench to every bit of the fucking world as we know it, man. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's rough, dude. It's really rough.
It's why
but on the bright side, we still have the internet. We can still talk with you this way. I think Gavin was probably about to say the exact same thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right, and it worked out pretty well for me. I mean, as soon as the lockdown happened, thank God I have podcasting to keep me busy. Like it's really been a big thing during this pandemic. Like I've got my RV and I can go on trips. I can podcast. I've got my YouTube channel has been really helpful. And finally, I was able to set up this distribution for my new comedy special on my website. So I'm peddling filth.
Maybe when it's all done with, we should collab on a slow-mo tattoo or something. Because it looks
dude, I would love
Have you
that.
seen those? Like,
Oh,
the needles go flying in.
yeah, I've just finished a pitch for an actual tattoo show, which would have me drive cross country, tattooing people along the way and getting it. It'll be a road trip show. It'll be a stunt show. It'll be a tattoo show. I'm really excited about this pitch, but I'm sure that the path we would take across the country brings us through Texas. So absolutely, that would be an absolutely fantastic stop along the way to hook up with you guys. And where's Waco too? Because I wanted to go to that wave pool and surf.
Waco's just north of Austin. It's about 100 miles north of Austin.
Totally worth it to me to drive that 100 miles. It's crazy how Texas is so big. Like I just learned that El Paso is closer to San Diego than some other city in Texas.
Probably than like to Houston or something. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds right.
There's a real fuck you sign when you driving on I-10 when you're coming into Texas from the east. When you're coming in via Louisiana on I-10, there's a sign that says like Houston 100 miles or whatever, and then El Paso 1,000 miles. And it's like they just put that sign there to like drive home how big it is. Like nobody who's driving in at that point is like, I wonder how far El Paso is from here. It's just like a fuck you. That's how far you have to go to get out of the state. Yeah.
So great. So, quick question, just because out of curiosity, but you guys clearly have a multicam system going. Are you editing it in real time, where you're not even going to worry about which angles get chosen for the final cut, or are you going to go ahead and recut it all together after the fact?
That's a question for our producer. I think they do. They have the capability to do some cutting, but I think for the most part they try to keep it line cut. Like as if we can keep it like this, as little editorial as we can get a much quicker turnaround. I think they try to keep it like this if possible.
We usually do always record our individual audio so that we can clean up moments where we're talking all over each other because of shitty internet connection and stuff like that. But, video is usually just pretty on the fly.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean that's crucial. Yeah, having separate audio tracks. But I'm interested in the multicam because I've got another little sort of a pet project which we just started working on yesterday, which is called Steve-O's Game Room, and we actually set up a multicam system to document a ping pong battle last night, and I'm going to be hosting this magical event. It's called the Celebrity Ping Pong Championship of the entire world. And it's actually something that's been going on for some time, and I have defended my title of Celebrity Ping Pong Champion of the entire world. I believe 3 times. I took the title from the comedian Adam Ray, then I defended the title against the rapper Machine Gun Kelly, and then I defended the title again against the Workaholics star Blake Anderson, and it's gone. I haven't been challenged in some time. We're going to be doing that at my house now. So multicam is, and as we did the game room multicam, I started wondering, would it make sense to do multicam while we record the podcast in the van? Let's say if we're on Zoom, would that save us editing time later? It sounds like the answer is yes.
All right. Well, I want to go ahead and wrap things up. I want to say a big thank you to Steve-O for taking time to talk with us. And just a reminder, his comedy special is out. You can go to steve-o.com. Definitely check out the trailer. You can buy it and stream the special right now. Yeah, please go to steve-o.com because I spent so much goddamn money on it. I think it's so fucking good. I think it's so good and it's so filthy. And I appreciate you guys for
helping me promote that. And also, when we first started, you said something about like we'll talk for 15 minutes, and clearly we've been talking for way longer.
Oh, yeah.
If I kept you longer than I should have, apologies, but it was genuinely a treat to talk to you guys. I really did.
No, not at all. It's our honor.
Yeah, I've been a fan since I watched you front flip off a diving board wearing stilts dressed as a clown.
Nice.
when I was about 14 years old, probably.
Dad, I appreciate it so much, man. I appreciate it so much. I'm sure it can stand a great deal of editing, but I think we've made some interesting podcast content here.
I assume I shouldn't watch your special while I'm eating. I probably should have it
While
after
you're
dinner.
eating. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you want to shed some. Unless you want to shed some pounds, maybe watch it before dinner.
It's a little quarantine diet for you.
Yeah,
There we go.
you know,
All right, well,
if like so many of us, you've put on the COVID-19.
Sat on my ass for
Shed
5
some of
minutes.
those pounds. All right. Well, thanks so much,
Right,
Steve.
yeah,
And thanks everyone for
for
watching.
sure, likewise.
Go to stevo.com.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Oh yeah, man. Thank
See
you
you soon,
guys.
Steve-o.
Fuck yeah. Hey,
Bye,
take care,
dude.
bro.
Bye.